Hey guys, my name's Glenn and this is my channel Glen, and it's my journey of cryptocurrency from when I first started about 6 weeks ago to where I'm at today. The reason for this video today is that I've spoken to a lot of people. Bitcoin in particular seems to be getting a lot of media attention and it seems to be getting more well known. But what a lot of people don't know is actually Bitcoin is one coin of about 1,500 other coins, and there's actually a whole world and different ways to go about sort of making investments and making money out of cryptocurrency. A lot of people just believe that if they put £100 into Bitcoin today, that maybe tomorrow or a year later it will be worth £1,000,000. And a lot of people seem to think of it as a get rich quick scheme that's building up. I actually was interested in cryptocurrency, in Bitcoin in particular. I'm not going to lie, I'm in exactly the same position you are now watching this video probably. In the sense that I heard about Bitcoin when it was worth $1,000. I really started paying attention when it was worth $2,000. And then it must have been 3 or 4 months later it was worth something like $5,000. At this point, I said to my wife, look, we need to get involved in this because it just keeps going up and up and up. Then I started reading about it. I watched a documentary about it. I saw a piece on TV about it. Then I started doing my own research. And I thought, actually, yeah, this is really interesting. To me, this speaks volumes. It's a currency that is not owned by Bank A or Bank B. It's not a company, it's not a investment fund, it's not a trader, a share, it's just a peer-to-peer code and ledger that is updated with everyone. So if I want to buy something online, I need someone else or people to confirm that I'm making a legitimate purchase. You may think, well, what if someone was to bend the truth? It's very unlikely because you would need more than 50% of all the people that are confirming that transaction to agree that that was a correct transaction. Now, what I mean by that is, so if you had a room of 10 people and you give someone £100 cash, and you would have to convince those 5 people, at least 5 people in that room, look, actually I just gave him 200 quid, you saw it, didn't you? You'd have to get those 5 or 6 people to actually confirm and say, yeah, I saw him give him £600. Where that's very unlikely. What's going to probably happen is you might convince your best friend to say, yeah, it was 200, but actually the other 9 will say, no, I only saw £100. Now they're actually incentivized to actually confirm transactions, and this process is called mining. So if you was to use online banking on your phone, or like I do, I use it every single day. When you're making transfers, your bank is keeping a store of it at their end. Yeah, so I bank with a company called Lloyd's. If I transfer money to Halifax, Lloyd's and Halifax will have a receipt or a record of just that transaction, and it will be stored in their database. I have no access to it, and obviously it's no one else's business. No one else knows about it. It's very secret. Obviously, that's the way we like it to be. But this cryptocurrency is completely different. No one owns it. There isn't a bank. There isn't a main server. You can't just go and switch it off. There isn't a code you can just put out there and just make it go away. It's out there now on the internet, and we're all sharing it on all our computers. And I believe it's here to stay. So why is it going up so much in value? Cryptocurrency is a code, if you like, to say that this transaction took place at this time, and the algorithm for it is, and it'll be a load of gibberish. So if I just show you an example, sorry if you're watching this video and you're a bit more advanced into cryptocurrency, you might not find this video very interesting, but I just wanted to recap for people that are coming new into this, just so they can maybe catch up a bit faster than having to do what I did. And at the time, there wasn't many people talking about how to get involved in cryptocurrency. It was just all like, look how much money I'm making on BitConnect. Look how much, you know, how much money I'm making on Bitcoin trading and all that sort of stuff. But there wasn't too many tips on how to, like, do you know what? Here's some honest advice. Do this, go there, spend that, yada, yada, yada. So that's why I thought I'd do this video. So you can see here the transaction ID for this transaction I made, which was, I don't know, $20 worth of Bitcoin. You can see the code there. So that has been confirmed by a miner on the blockchain, which we'll view here. You can see how much fee I paid for it when I received it, how many confirmations it's had. So it's very hard to mimic, trace, lie, hack Bitcoin, just because, like I say, you would have to convince a lot of people of what you're doing, and you only need one of them to say, nah, that's not right, and that would knock your percentages down. So at the minute, it's a very trusted and well-regarded system. It's I won't go into the depths of how it started and everything like that, because you can find that information really well thought out, actually. But what I wanted to show to you guys today is where to start in your first 30 days of cryptocurrency. So I had people approach me. I went for a cooked breakfast, believe it or not, a little while ago, and someone was going, so Glenn, this Bitcoin thing, do I need to get involved? And I said, well, that's up to you. I believe that Bitcoin in the next year or so will be worth in the realm of £25,000 to £50,000. That's my opinion and that's my view. I have nothing to back that up. So please don't make all your life decisions based on what I just said there. Currently, it's worth $15,000. So somewhere there, it's going to sort of double, if not triple, in value. So if you put in £100 today, your money will either double or triple next year. And they were like, oh, so is that it then? So I said, yeah, if you put in £100, you might have £200. Oh, right, okay, so you're not going to get rich from it. And I said, well, it depends. If you put in 10 grand, you triple that, you've made 30 grand in 1 year. You know, where else are you going to get that? And they were like, oh, right. And they seemed a bit down about it. They were like, oh. And I said, look, what you need is a lottery ticket. Go and buy £100 worth of lottery tickets. You will find out that night if you've won or if you've lost. If you've won, you've made your £1,000,000, you're rich. If you've lost, you know, you gave it your best and that's it. But for people that are actually interested in the technology side of it and actually the way it could revolutionise our whole financial structure, if you like, and the way that we actually buy and sell and value our money and the way that we store it, then there's actually more routes to go down than just investing in Bitcoin. So I started, you can see here, this is my YouTube channel, BitGlen, invested in cryptocurrency vlogs, tips for beginners and mining startups. So I'll talk about mining in a minute. But you can see here I started 1 month ago. If I actually click, this is my very first video I ever done, and I've put how to start my Bitcoin journey. I didn't know what to do. And you can see here straight away I'm talking about a web, or I was thinking about actually mining myself. So I actually published this on November the 13th, 2017. It's now Christmas Day, 2017. So 1 month and, what's that, 12 days. So you're talking about 6 to 7 weeks. So where do you start? You've just found this video, you're watching it, you're thinking, I might join in with this cryptocurrency, but how do I get my first Bitcoin? How do I get my first? One Bitcoin can actually be divided down into many, many smaller decimal points. So to show you an example, you can see here in my Bitcoin wallet, I don't own one Bitcoin. I don't even own 10% of a Bitcoin. I own 0.010036746 of a Bitcoin. So these are referred to as, or one of these here would be referred to as a Satoshi, because named after the creator of Bitcoin. So I actually own 100,000, no, is that right? I own, or is that 1 million? 1, 2, 3, 4. I own 3,746 Satoshis, which actually, if you word it like that, sounds a lot better. So you may necessarily not want to jump in and obviously invest £15,000 by one Bitcoin, because that's another criticism I get. One of my friends who's in the banking sector, believe it or not, doesn't believe in it at all, thinks it's a massive waste of time and money. He said, "Oh, Glenn, well, you'll never own one whole Bitcoin, will you? So what's the point?" And I said, "Well, like, you know, it's not like that really. You don't just own one Bitcoin and that's it, you're a millionaire." But that's, you know, that's his view, and all respect to him and everything like that, because it could all collapse tomorrow and he'll say, "Huh, told you so." I also had another person come up to me and they also said, "What's the, you know, how do you own one Bitcoin?" And I said, "Well, you can own 10% of a Bitcoin. What's the point in that?" You know, so it is a hurdle that people need to get their head around. So you can just refer to things as Satoshis, and obviously, as you could buy one Satoshi, which will cost you, you know, I don't know, 5p. But anyway, so this is when I started my journey about 7 weeks ago. So you're sitting there thinking, well, how do I get hold of some Satoshis or a Bitcoin? So what I'd recommend first is a website called Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is a exchange service, so you give them US dollars or British pounds or euros. They give you Bitcoin. Really simple, very clean interface, very colourful, simply laid out. Tells you here price of Bitcoin, what it's done in the last day, month, week, year, so you can monitor it as you go along. You can create an account with them. You can buy the different types of currencies. This is my account here, so I have in this account, so this is a different wallet. I'll get on that in a second. So on here I own 0.02 of a Bitcoin, so slightly more than my other wallet I just had. And you can also own Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum and Litecoin, euros and British pounds, and dollars I don't have access to because I'm Europe based. So if you was in America, obviously you'd have US dollars and you probably wouldn't have access to the euro side of it. So with Coinbase, you join up and you buy. So you can click on one of these here. I want to buy Bitcoin. When you sign up, it will ask you to give a form of ID, sometimes two if you want to increase your limit. So I actually give them my driving license and my passport. This is a get to know your customer process, which Coinbase are trying to cover themselves with obviously the governments all around the world. So if, say, Britain came to him and said, "We want to know what Glenn Hammond's got, can you tell us what he's been spending because he's been doing tax evasion?" They can say, "Well, actually, he spent 1,500 with us on this date, buying Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah." So you do that process, you sign up, you create an email address, confirm your email, all the usual stuff to join up a normal website, and then you register a bank card to it, credit or debit card. You can register an actual bank account and do wire transfers, but I believe that takes sort of 5 days to actually activate. And you can, but the plus side of that is you can send large amounts of money. So if you want to invest, you know, £20,000 or something, you would have to do that process first. If you want Bitcoin today, so say you're watching this video and you go, "Oh, do you know what, I really want to get involved today," you can sign up and you can give them your credit card details. So you can upload your credit card details and you can buy up to, and this is in the UK, I don't know what it is in America, up to £750 worth, which is about $1,000. So I went and bought $750 worth of Bitcoin to start off with. Now once I got that Bitcoin, I can then transfer it to where I want and do what I want with it. So you would click down here, you can see here my weekly limit. I've used up some of my $750 this week, so I've only actually got $380. So I could technically buy another £380 worth. That tells me how much Bitcoin I would get for that. It also tells me, if I move my head along, these are the fees. So that's how much Bitcoin you'd get, 365. Coinbase charge a fee of 14.58. So all in total, what would be coming off my card is £380. So remember that, because there are fees every step of the way with cryptocurrency. Currently, there are coins out there that offer either zero transaction fees or very small transaction fees, like Litecoin. Litecoin is actually very low, but this is a fee that Coinbase charge for the service of taking money off a credit card and buying a cryptocurrency. So you can see there, even with Litecoin, which offers very, very minimal fees, it's exactly the same fee. Where you'll notice the difference in the cryptocurrencies is when you come to try and transfer those currencies from this exchange onto other platforms. So like, my Exodus wallet, or if you want to buy something like, a car or a coffee or something like that, the fees will be all different with these cryptocurrencies. And that's to do with them, not with Coinbase. So that's a bit confusing. When I first started off over a month ago, I just couldn't get my head around. I'm like, where are these fees coming from? Who's getting them? Where's the money going to? If there's no bank and there's no central service, why am I getting charged £10, £15 in Bitcoin fees to send? I tried doing my very first transaction I ever tried doing. I was trying to send £1 to my other wallet just to try it out. I like to try things in very small doses before I take my step forward. And it was going to cost me £6 in fees. So actually the whole transaction was going to cost me £7 just to transfer £1. So currently the fees are very high on Bitcoin, and there's a reason for that. I won't get into too much of that now, but essentially when you're paying a fee, you're paying a fee to, say, like an auction site. You're basically saying, look, I'm processing this transaction. I want my one done first. So you've got your hand up in the air. You're saying, look, I'm willing to pay £12 if someone confirms my transaction right now. You can actually send money with cryptocurrencies at lower fees, but then you're at the back of the queue. You go, look, yoo-hoo, I'm back here a bit. I don't mind waiting 3 days. So, I'm here when you need me, but I'll only pay this much fee. So the miners are incentivized. They're going to come along and pick up the ones with the best transaction fees first. Coinbase will automatically do it all for you, so you haven't actually got to think about any of that, which is a good and bad thing because it means they're taking the control out of your hands. So if I want to send, this is my Coinbase page, if I want to send money to my Exodus wallet, which I'll explain what an Exodus wallet is in a minute, I'll type in the address of the Bitcoin. So this is my new wallet address. So imagine if I had 2 physical wallets and I want to take a tenner out and put the tenner in my other wallet. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So if I want to send the maximum amount, so the amount of Bitcoin I have is 0.0249. You can see here the fees are £23. So out of my £300 that I've got, or my 280 or whatever it was, 285, sorry, it's actually going to cost me 290 because of £23 of fees. So I'd have to actually lower the amount that I'm withdrawing to make up for them fees. So that's something you need to really bear in mind. Whereas if you went for, say, a Litecoin, their transaction fees, so their mining isn't as profitable. If you actually look at mining Litecoin, the amount of profit you earn from mining is lower. But then the plus side of that is for someone who wants to just buy and sell things online, the transaction fees on Litecoin are pence. They're like 5p, 20p to send, 100, 200, £300 pence. So that's the plus side of Litecoin. So you have to bear that in mind. So already now, obviously, just from one website, we're talking about different wallets. We're talking about 4 different currencies. We're talking about US dollars, pounds, and euros. So it can quickly, all of a sudden, snowball, and you think, oh, this is too overwhelming. But actually, all you need to focus on is, right, I want to buy some Bitcoin at this stage before you've decided what you want to do with it, I suppose. So let's say that this 285, I've just bought that using my bank credit card. I've bought it today. It's gone into my account instantly. Boom. Now at this point, you can make a few decisions. You can hold on to that Bitcoin if you want to for you know, obviously however long you like, year, 2 months, 6 months, whatever. And then what you would tend to do is you would log in online either via this website or the app. The app's pretty good on the iPhone. I've never used it on Android devices, but if I just sign into my Coinbase here, it tells me what my balance is. There you go, you can see that 285, and it gives you a little brief overview of how much you can't really see that there, sorry, it's taking up all the light. Gives you the same information you can see along this screen here, so how much Bitcoin's worth, how much it's gone up by, how much it's gone down by. It gives you a little graph, so there's quite a lot of information in there just to start off with for a beginner. So Coinbase is ideal for beginners. Once you actually feel confident with that, like I say, you have a few decisions to make. This, from my point of view, these are the revenues that you can go down with cryptocurrencies currently. You can buy and hold, or hodl as people like to refer to it as, and that is essentially just doing what I just said. Buy some Bitcoin, that's it, you're done. You're going to sit there now for a year, 2 years, and you're just going to check it every now and then and go, ooh, Bitcoin's gone up. The amount of Bitcoin that you have, so the actual amount of Satoshis you have, is exactly the same. That never goes up or down. But the amount in US or pounds or euros, the amount that Satoshis are worth in fiat money, in cash, obviously can go up or down. So recently, in the last few weeks, you can see here that Bitcoin actually went down in price. So actually, if you had £100 in Bitcoin, that may only now be worth, I don't know, 70, because it went down about 30%, so about £70, which means you've lost money. But obviously, if you're thinking, right, I'm going to do this for the long term, eventually it goes back up. So, well, not guaranteed. It could just keep going down and down and down. It could crash. So, bearing in mind, when you're looking to do this, only invest the money you're willing to lose. If you wake up one day and think, oh my God, I've just lost all that money. I needed that to pay the bills. And I've said this so many times in my videos. Or I needed that to pay the mortgage. Please do not invest that sort of money, because this could go down. You could lose half your... I saw someone on Twitter put, I've just remortgaged my house to buy Bitcoin last week, when obviously it was at 20,000 a coin. And it's just dropped down to, now we're currently at 14,000 a coin. That means 6,000 times however many coins he bought. That's a lot of money. He lost, he said, oh, looks like I'm going to be evicted next month. That's obviously silly. That's crazy sort of way of thinking. If it pays off, then you're laughing, because if it goes up 50%, and you've bought £50,000 worth, you've now got £75,000. You could pay your mortgage back, and you've gained 25 grand for nothing. But that is very risky. If you're that sort of person, go down the casino, get it over and done with in one night, bish bash bosh, done. But don't invest what you can't afford. So that's my personal tip. Do what you want. I'm not offering any financial advice in this video at all. So that's one option, hold on to the money. Second option is, what if you want to actually accumulate more of this Bitcoin? So you're not fussed about buying the Bitcoin. What if you want to accumulate more of it for down the future, because you honestly believe the value of it in fiat money will go up? So actually, I want to accumulate as much of this Satoshis as possible. So this is the route that I believe is the most profitable going forward. So let's dive into that. So that's called mining. So what you're doing when you mine is you are essentially using PC graphical processors, essentially processing power, to update the ledger of every transaction that's ever happened on the Bitcoin network, or in crypto, whatever currency it is that you're mining at that point in time. So you're helping towards the whole system. You're part of that ecosystem. And for that, you get rewarded. So when they created Satoshi himself, once he created the algorithm for and the coding for Bitcoin, he incentivized people that would help the system update itself. The ledger, if you like. So for every block and that's why it's called the blockchain. For every block of information that is processed and worked out, that person or persons are rewarded with some Bitcoin that is put into the system. Satoshi, when he originally generated it, said there was only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, so 21 million coins, whole coins. Bearing in mind, obviously, they can be broken down into Satoshis as well, so that it's quite a lot of money, or it can be divided quite a lot. But it's actually the lowest amount of currency that is available on any cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is perceived as the most valuable, and it was the first one, and it was the original. Every other coin is a spur or a sort of a copy of Bitcoin, but trying to change something slightly in the code and that offer something different to everyone. But Bitcoin is the dad, if you like, of him. I was going to say the daddy, but he is literally the dad. He's like or the mother, if you like, because all the rest have been created or born from Bitcoin. So that is the one. So if you want to help in that ecosystem, you can mine. You can use your process power. So my first thought, before I even started doing these YouTube videos, right, I'm going to use my laptop. I've actually got a MacBook Pro, so I thought, yes, I've got a really powerful computer. It cost me £2,000. I'm going to be able to mine loads. So I've gone onto a mining website, done a performance check, and it said your current equipment would mine about $35 worth a year. I thought, what? And that you'd have to leave your machine on all day, every day, 24/7 to receive that sort of return. And I thought, what? Who's going to have a better machine than me? Obviously, there are gaming computers and that. I thought, well, yeah, they're like £5,000. Who's going to have that? It's not many. So then doing a bit more research, what I found out was that actually it's not about how fast your computer is. It's actually about the actual processing power of being able to perform a repetitive process over and over and over again. So if you imagine someone who has spent their whole life picking flowers, as opposed to someone who can pick flowers and arrange them into nice little bunches and then put a bow around them and stuff like that. Obviously, that person's going to take one whole day to do that whole process. It would look lovely at the end result. But the person who can just pick flowers, because they've done it all their life, they're going to just accumulate a large amount of flowers. I don't know why I use flowers as an example then, actually. It's the first thing that popped in my head. So you've got to think these graphics cards that people are using, so not actually processors. So when you've got your Intel Core Processor 7, i7 or whatever, it's not actually using that because they actually perform loads of different tasks all over the place and do multitasking and media and music and all that sort of stuff. Actually, graphics cards, they're the ones that actually are just really good at running code over and over again because that's what they're designed for. They're designed to play video games that obviously rely on code and just run all the time while the processor inside the computer is running the graphics that we see on our screen. So what people were doing is buying loads and loads of these graphics cards and just setting up really basic computers with just a motherboard, a load of graphics cards, a small processor and a power unit, turning it on and then saying mine Bitcoin. And they run at loads and loads of code all at the same time, all day long, 24/7. And they actually generate really good results for mining. So then I was thinking, well, how do I get involved in this? So I spoke to my cousin, and he builds computers for a living. But this is the sort of thing we're talking about competing with. Mining farms. You can see here just massive amounts of graphical power, just times 10,000. You see here whole rows, farms of it. So it actually opened my eyes. And you watching this video, if you're a newcomer to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you might think, Jesus, well, I can never get involved in that. But these are the type of people to run that sort of operation, to have the air conditioning, the electricity power, the manpower, the space, the rent, everything. They've got to generate, obviously, tens of thousands of pounds every month. So they need that sort of equipment. for you and me, thinking, oh, I'm thinking of doing this on the side of my current job. You may only need a small amount. I say a small amount, but say about £1,500 to £2,000 worth of graphical power cards, which you can buy them for about. I've seen them. They go between 200 for a really basic one to sort of all the way up to £1,000 for like the top end ones. But what people are doing is they're buying them top end ones, so they're selling out everywhere, and they're really hard to get hold of, and people are selling them on eBay for well over the odds of what they're worth. So you need to take all of that into account. Now I'm thinking, God, this is harder than I thought actually, and I'm a step behind. People have been doing this for about 2 or 3 years, or even 4 or 5 years, but really it's really ramped up in the last couple of years. I'm a step behind. I'm 2 years too late. If I'd got into this 2 years ago, obviously I'd be laughing because I would have had a rig set up at home and I'd be mining Bitcoin. It would have gone up to 20,000. I would have had, maybe 1 million Satoshis, whatever. So where does that leave someone like me? So I started looking into other options. I'm still thinking of doing the mining from home. It's just getting the right equipment at the right price. And that's where I'm at with that. So I started looking at other alternatives. One that I got led to was a website called Hashflare. Now Hashflare have one of these farms like this in Estonia, and their electricity costs are low, and their equipment they actually make themselves. So they make these machines themselves. So obviously instead of buying it off someone else, which obviously as the demand goes up and up and up, like a company called Bitmain, they actually make the most powerful miner in the world, the Antminer S9. You can buy one of them, and you can go back and watch my videos as proof actually. I tried buying one on their website for $1,500, let's just say. It sold out and I had to wait for the next lot to become available, but because the demand for them is so high, they actually started selling them for $2,700. Exactly the same machine, same process, everything. They just went, right, do you know what, we can get away with upping the price because people are still willing to pay it. And even to this day, I'm still considering buying it at that price. So that's mining. That's one route that you can go down. So we've talked about holding and we've talked about mining. I can't get hold of the equipment myself, so this leaves me in a position where really I'm standing still. I'm just standing there watching everyone else mine. I can't do much. So it led me to a cloud service. Like I say, they have a mining farm like this, but what they're doing is they're renting out the computer power to people like me. So they're still mining it. They're taking a hit on all the electricity costs and everything like that, and the maintenance and everything like that. But they're renting it out. Now, for that, they do charge a percentage. So say you was to mine £100 worth of Bitcoin, they will take, so let's just round it up and say 20%. So they'll take $20 out of that. You imagine that on a massive scale on all these machines here like this. They're earning a lot of money from the person at the beginning, because I might pay £2,000 to rent this machine here to run for me, plus they're earning the 20% as I'm going along over the year. So they've already paid for the equipment using my rental costs, and now they're earning profits from it mining as well, but they're sharing some of that profit with me. So that's cloud mining. So that's another option. I joined up with this website called Hashflare. My first initial route was to go down a website called Genesis Mining. They have a really good reputation online. They offer lifetime contracts, so once you actually buy a contract with them, they will keep mining for you until it's deemed not profitable anymore, and then your contract would end. So this is very popular in the online cloud mining service. Oh, I can't seem to log in to show you my account, which is annoying. Oh, here we go. So this was one route, and I was really skeptical because I was thinking, do you know what, this could be a scam, and is it real? Are they actually paying people out properly? And all these thoughts went into my head, and in the end, I watched loads of YouTubers, and I was seeing them actually earning money and actually getting paid and withdrawing their Satoshis or their Bitcoin, you know, out of their wallets and converting it into cash. So I thought, do you know what? I can't get hold of a machine at the minute. The 1,500 that I was going to spend on a Antminer S9, I thought, do you know what? I need to start mining today. I can't sit around doing nothing you know, I did wait a couple of weeks. If you actually watch my videos, I kept posting videos every day. Still sold out. They're still sold out. I'm thinking about this. What do you guys think? And I was getting loads of good feedback, and that's why I created this channel. So I actually signed up with Hashflare. What I'd done was I went to this is their main page. I went on and I bought some mining power. I bought 11 terahashes worth at the time, which I think it was 11.5, sorry. At the time, that was almost the same as what an Antminer S9 can mine at. An Antminer can mine at 12.5 terahashes as an optimal level. So I thought, well, I'm going to spend that money and I'm basically going to get the power of an S9, but I'm not going to have this machine at my house. I haven't got to pre-order it for 6 months. And I haven't got to worry about electricity cost. But whereas if I was mining at home, your pool fees, if you like, the fee to mine with a pool of people would generally be about 1%. So again, if you earn $100, you would lose $1 out of every 100. These guys take about 15 to 20%. So obviously you're losing that 20%, but then you're not paying electricity. You haven't got a machine at your house. It makes a lot of noise, and it's quite bulky and it's quite ugly. So there's swings and roundabouts. Whatever one you feel is the best option for you, obviously go ahead with that. So I bought this, and to me, what's more important to me is the amount of Satoshi, if you like, that I'm mining every day. Because I believe that this is what I'm mining every day. You can see here, one day, I'm mining about $30 worth. I don't care about the dollars worth. I care about the Satoshi. So I'm mining 0.002 of a Bitcoin. And over the course of a week, a month, 6 months, a year, you can see here that obviously that now I'm getting close to actually owning one whole Bitcoin. So the 1.0, you know, of a Bitcoin. To me, that is the goal. That is the sort of the holy grail. I'd like to own one whole Bitcoin, keep it in a wallet somewhere, and just watch the price go up. Instead of me paying £15,000 to £20,000 for that one Bitcoin, I've spent £1,500, but it's taken me a year to get there. That's my thought process. I may be wrong, and again, when you're coming into cryptocurrency, you need to decide what you want to do. So, if you do think and you agree with me and you want to join up with this Hashflare, you can actually just keep reinvesting with them. So every day they give me Bitcoin, and every day I buy some more power. So I buy a very small amount of power, and the amount that I'm getting now, you can see here I'm up to 17 terahashes, 17.5, from my original 11.5. So I've gone up 6 terahashes in the space of about, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. Some of that most of it is me buying it myself out of that money. The other bit of it is a referral. So there is actually a link in my video down below to link you to Hashflare, their website. If you follow that link, it creates a cookie so they know that you've come to this page because of me, and you don't get any discount for it, unfortunately. If I had a discount code, I would give it. If anyone out there is saying that they have got a discount code, generally they're just lying. So you click the link, because once you click the link once, and that's how you got to the website, when you sign up at some point, you're now their referee, so that person's going to earn money. So you can see here, this is what people have been buying, and I earn about 9 to 10% of that. So I seem to get around, because I think they take a fee as well. So this person here today spent $55 on a Hashflare contract. They were recommended from Google somehow, and for that I got that amount of Bitcoin, which is 0.00038. I've reinvested it, and I've bought more hash rate. So my hash rate went up twice today because I received money from my mining, and then I receive that referral bonus. So it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's entirely up to you. I'm not going to push that on you, but if you want to click my link down below, helps me out, and I get to buy some more hash power. So I'm just being really honest. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that say, click this link, copy this code, you know, use this and you get 5% off. It's all affiliate referrals, and I've got no issue with that because I'm doing it myself. But I'm trying to be a bit more honest and upfront. That's what you're doing. If you want, just type in Hashflare in Google if you want, and that doesn't come to me in any way. But anyway, that's where I'm at with mining. The other one was Genesis Mining. They're a very well-respected site, but they are sold out. You can't buy any Bitcoin mining from them. You can see here they've actually closed off at 0. Can't buy no Bitcoin mining. Dash is another coin. Can't buy it. Ethereum, can't buy it. Litecoin. The only one they offer at the minute is Monero. They're very expensive contracts. The cheapest one is $830, which in UK money is about £600, I'd say. That's for 1,000 hashes. It's quite a low amount of power. But that's a 2-year contract with no fees. They don't charge any fees for that, no percentages. You just get whatever it is that they mine. But unfortunately, Monero isn't as profitable at the minute as the others, so that's why that's the only one left, and that's the only one I've got. I got about $60 worth. I think they've stopped doing that for people now. Yeah, the cheapest you can go to is $830, but I bought $60 worth at the time of Monero, and yeah, it seems to be doing really well for me actually. It's building up nicely. I'm not reinvesting it, I'm just storing it and hoping that that coin goes up in price one day so that I can exchange it for more Bitcoin. So I think that's pretty much mining covered. Sorry if this is a really long video, there's a lot of things to think about. So we've covered holding, we've covered mining. The next one is you can do day trading. So if you want to, all these different coins, they all go up and down in price every single day. And it's so volatile. You know, Bitcoin went down dramatically, sort of like I say, I think about 30% in the last few days. And now it's slowly creeping back up. You can see here it's gone up again 4% in the last 24 hours. But what you could do is when one of them is down or up, you can sell your Bitcoin and exchange it for Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin. Obviously, I mentioned some earlier, but there's tons. This is the trick. There's absolutely tons. If I click view all, I think there's about 1,500 coins. So let's just drag down. I'll just show you. There's all these you could buy. So how do you get hold of these? Now, we saw on Coinbase, if we start from the beginning, that there was 4 main types of currency that they buy and sell. Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, which is unavailable at the minute, Ethereum and Litecoin. They say they are going to be releasing more, but I think they're going to do one every now and then. They're never going to have like a massive amount of different coins. They might do, but in my opinion, I believe they want to make sure it's completely secure because they're so mass market Coinbase. They need to make sure the security's there, that it's easy, and obviously I assume they've got to work out there and their fees and commissions and stuff like that. So I've got Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going down today, and I don't want to hold on to Bitcoin. I want to sell and buy some, I don't know, Ethereum or Litecoin because they're on the way up. So you think, oh, I'm going to jump this train and jump onto the next one that's going faster. So how do I do that? Well, with Coinbase, you can't actually just say, right, I want to, transfer that over to there, which is frustrating. And even if they did, they'd probably charge you a massive fee for it. So they actually have a sort of background system in place that's behind this Coinbase, which is called GDAX. Now this looks really complicated, but trust me, after a day or two with it, I think come to grips with it. And with these guys, it's actually owned, you can see up here in my, I don't know if you can see it in this video, but in my URL it does actually say Coinbase with the security tag on it. And it completely ties in with your wallet. If you've created a Coinbase account, you can create a GDAX website account, and you can do it from an iPhone. You can just deposit money from your Coinbase wallet if I go to deposit, you can see here Coinbase account. That's how much it can see how much I've got in my Coinbase because they're so integrated together. They're the same system. I can actually just send this across. I won't do it now, but I could send that amount of Bitcoin, 0.02 Bitcoin, and it would appear in here. And then you can sell that amount of Bitcoin. So if I click that, you can see there I've got 1 Satoshi actually. And that Satoshi, if I was to sell it for Ethereum, is actually worth 0.0000019 of Ethereum. So I could buy that, place order. Oh, fund's too small. So I have to actually... But what would happen is, you can see down here it's been rejected, but normally that would say filled. That means someone has bought your Bitcoin with their Ethereum. Now this is actually an exchange. We're using GDAX as a platform, but it's me selling, say, to you watching this now. So there's no fees for us doing that, as far as I'm aware. And if it is, it's very, very low. You can see here 0.000. The fees are very low on that. So it's actually a really good way of exchanging between these 4 currencies. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. You can sort of change the money between the 4, and then when you're ready you can just go withdraw, and then you can put that Bitcoin back, there you go, my 0.0001 back into my Coinbase. So it would actually appear almost instantly. It takes literally seconds. It would appear back in here. So it would come back up here how much you've got. So that's one way of actually trading money between those 4 main currencies with Coinbase. It's up to you if you want to use that method. Another method is transferring it into another wallet called Exodus. Now this is a desktop wallet. You can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't get this on iPhone. I think they're working on an Android app, but this is just desktop. So you can see here, it's that what I like about this, it's slick, it's clean, it's colourful, it's very easy on the eye. Everything's laid out really simply as well, so it's very easy to say, okay, I've got £103 worth of Bitcoin Cash, and I've got £106 worth of Bitcoin, and you can see there my portfolio, I've got 50-50 in both. But if I wanted to, they offer a thing called an exchange, and I could go Bitcoin over to any of these coins here. So now, instead of just being able to exchange 4, I can exchange, what's that, 15, 20? So now I can exchange 15 or 20 different coins. So you can keep an eye on the market. I can say I want to transfer all of it, £103, or I can transfer half, minimum, or you can just put it in yourself. So if you just need £10 worth, what I'm going to end up, you can see here, £10, I would actually end up with £6.69p of Litecoin. So there's a £3.30 fee in there that obviously is going to partly go to these guys, Bitcoin, Exodus, and also obviously to the fees for the, for the miners to actually confirm that transaction. This is very easy and it's very slick, and sometimes it takes a little while, especially if the network's busy, but generally most of the time it seems to work pretty quick. It goes back into your account into whatever it is you want. So now you've got those type of coins. So now you're free to then transfer money from this wallet. Say, I always tend to transfer Litecoin from this wallet because the fees are so low. Even if they charge me £20, as we saw earlier, it was £26 to send Bitcoin from one account to another. It's actually, sometimes it would work out cheaper to transfer the money from Bitcoin into Litecoin. Take the hit on the whatever it is, 20 quid or whatever, and actually then transfer it out Litecoin. But obviously that's down to you. So that's 2 types of main wallets: Coinbase, which is an exchange, or Exodus. If you want to actually get more involved and you want to actually buy more, a wider variety of cryptocurrencies, as we saw, there's hundreds and hundreds on there. How do I get access to all of these? Well, if there's a coin that you particularly like, say I click on this stock. This is a website called coinmarketcap.com. It's very popular. You see a lot of YouTubers using this, and that's because it's up to date, it's live, and it's got all the coins on there. So It's the one. It's the go-to for everyone. You can click on markets on any coin, and it would tell you who's actually selling it. So I would look down here and think, right, they're selling it. Hit BTC. I can set up an account with Hit BTC, transfer them Bitcoin, and then transfer that Bitcoin into stock. Now, I haven't gone too in depth with this at the minute. The website that I have joined up with is Bittrex, and you can see here they have a wide variety of different coins that are available. And it's predominantly all Bitcoin or Ethereum into whatever coin it is you want, you know. So that's something that I'm actually playing about with, so I don't want to go into that too much because I may mislead you or say something wrong or cost you money somehow. So, but that is one way of doing it. Joining in with a big exchange and just change the money from hand to hand. Then they charge fees to withdraw that money back into whatever wallet is that you want. So bear that in mind. So now we've covered day exchanging or just generally exchanging. Mining, holding. The other one is ICOs. So how do you get from having just the Bitcoin into having all these different cryptocurrencies? Well, anyone can create off the blockchain a new coin or token, if you like. They use the same algorithm as Bitcoin or Ethereum. Ethereum tends to be the one that they all spur off because it was designed to have smart contracts in place. So if I create Ripple or Dash or whatever, I promise to give you this much in return for this amount of coin, or exchange for your services, I'll do this. And Ethereum created that, and it's been very, very popular. A lot of other companies are all spurs off Ethereum or on top of their blockchain. So there's actually, Ethereum is the next best one because obviously there's so much uses for it. And with that, there's tons of companies that are set up every day now because everyone's getting involved. They all want to set up their own coin, their own currency, and they say, well, do you know what? Bitcoin's good at this, but it's not very good at that. And it's not very good. A use that a lot of people use on YouTube is Bitcoin's not very good for buying coffee. As you saw, it cost me £23 for one transaction. So you imagine trying to buy a coffee with that. It's going to cost you 30 quid to buy a coffee. So, they might, like Litecoin, come out very low fees and it's very quick. Another coin might come out and say, we're very high in secrecy, so we don't store any of your personal information anywhere, and we don't send anyone your wallet address, and we don't receive your wallet address, da 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 da. And there's loads of other coins here. Some are for advertising, marketing, shares. Some people want to set up new wallets. You've got things like BitConnect. They have their own coin, as you can see here. And the price of that goes up and down every day along with the actual Bitcoin, and they pay people off that, from what I understand. So there's loads of other uses, and the good thing about this blockchain technology and why I'm so excited about it, some of the best uses of the blockchain technology haven't been thought of yet. So if you grasp that, it hasn't been conceived yet. It's the platform's there, and you've got all these bright people sitting there thinking, God, wouldn't it be good if, like, one of them is a Google. They want to compete with Google, the search engine. Google store all your information. So if I search up now, Christmas lights, they're going to send that information to someone and say, Glenn Hammond searching for Christmas lights, plaster his whole wall with adverts of Christmas lights on eBay and Amazon and da-da-da-da, and you pay us £10 because we gave you that information. That's how Google tends to make all their money. They're trying to create a search engine where if I search anything, the advertisers, if they want that information, they have to buy that information from me. So I decide, if I think, actually, I want to be really secretive, I don't want anyone to know I'm looking at Christmas lights, I can say, no, I don't want you to know that. But if I say, yeah, do you know what? You can know I'm searching Christmas lights, I don't care. And they say, right, well, we'll plaster you with adverts, but they buy that information from me. That's such a clever idea. Who thought of that? You get paid to have adverts thrown at your face, So that's just great ideas. Anyway, getting too excited. So there's tons of business opportunities out there that are happening. And if you have the time, you can sit there and do tons of research on loads of different ones. And if there's one that you really find interesting, you can actually buy the coins or the tokens before they go on sale on these big exchanges. So there's all these ICOs out there that are, and I say ICOs, that's a initial coin offering, which means you're initially offering something for their coin. They supply you with that coin obviously at a rate because you've got in there so early and you've helped develop that coin essentially. So they might be a kid in a basement who said, "Do you know what, I've got this really good idea, but I need £2.5 million. So they do like a crowdfunding. So they might say, I need 2.5 million. I'm going to have 2.5 million coins and I'm going to sell them for $1 each if you're interested. Now, that kid may hit his target of his ICO, so he sells all of them. They're worth $1. But that idea may become, it may really take off. It may really have success. They might get a big brand say, actually, we want to be part of that because we're Nike and we want to advertise trainers to people, but they get paid to try them on. I don't know. And all of a sudden, that makes other people go, oh, well, you know, Nike's involved with that. Or, oh, look, that website's actually working and he's actually earning money from it. Right, okay, I want to buy one of them coins. Now, the only way to get that coin at that time is to buy one off someone else. So if I've bought 10 of those coins and there's no more, there was only 2.5 million out there, you have to buy one off me. I might sit back and say, well, how much are you going to give me for one? Oh, I'll give you $10. Right, okay then, now I bought them at $1, so I've 10 times my money. So this is a very quick way of flipping profit. So if you can get the right projects on the go, I've actually invested in a company called Envian, which is again, mobile mining unit, which I've explained. I've done sort of a more in-depth video of these guys. This was an ICO, and they're currently in circulation at the minute. They're creating something like 150 million tokens. So they've raised 32 million. Now let's say them 32 million and $1 each, just to make it easy. That means there's 32 million tokens. The rest get burnt, so they destroyed, or they never get created. So there will only be 32 million coins in circulation. If you want to buy one of those 32 million, you have to come to me now, not Envian. You have to come to me. Or, you know, people like me, sorry. So that's another route you can go down. And obviously, if say I bought that for $1, and like I say, they're worth $10, I've 10 times my money. So if I've put in £1,000, you know, I've made £10,000 very quickly. There's no rules or regulations at the minute. So it has good and bad sides. It means you've got no one holding you back. You can go and invest on what you want, when you want, how much you want. The downside of that is there's a ton of people out there with shit fucking scam ICOs, and they take your money and then they say, right, we're going live as of today. Oh no, our account's been hacked, or oh no, the system's gone down, and then or you just never hear from them ever again. So then you might message them and say, oh, what's happening with my £1,000? And you never get, you know, their email bounces back and stuff like that. So you do have to do your research. You have to be careful. Eventually the governments will come into place and they will put regulations on this, and that probably will mean you need to be a proper accredited investor. You have to pay so much in tax and fees, capital gains, and or, you know, obviously then it will become not as lucrative, but then obviously it'll be safer. So swings and roundabouts. So that's pretty much, now instead of you coming in thinking, well, actually I just want to buy Bitcoin and watch it go up, now you've got about 4 different revenue streams there: mining, holding, trading, and ICOs, investments into new companies. All very exciting in their own way. Depends what you want to do, what you feel comfortable doing. I'm trying to do a bit of everything because obviously I'm vlogging the whole thing and I want to sort of cover all my bases. I like to diversify, so I own, you know, a little bit of everything. So if one of them does really take off and I've invested in the next Amazon, let's just say, owning 1% of Amazon today is better than owning 0% of, you know, nothing. So I'm trying to diversify a bit, but mainly my main focus is the mining. That's just my opinion. I know some of you will go, no, 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 ICOs are the way to go. I get that a lot on my YouTube channel. Oh, I can 5 times my money within one day, which is great. And then you could use that 5 times money to buy more Satoshis or buy more Bitcoin. So actually, that could be the quicker way to get to one whole Bitcoin. But I feel the mining is slightly more secure because it's just a gradual thing. It's a repetitive process over and over again every day. Whereas ICOs, you have to be on your toes 24/7. As soon as your ICO is worth so much, you have to sell it at the right time. You have to buy at the right time. You have to hope that you don't invest in some scams. So it is hit and miss. There are other revenue streams. There's actually tons. I can't go into all of them, but you'll see a lot of them. Like things like BitConnect. What are the other ones? USI Tech, BitClub. What was the other one? Hashing24. They all say, right, basically the actual premises of them are, from what I can gather, this is just my opinion, please don't shoot me down too much if I'm completely way out. You give them, say, 1 Bitcoin today. Now they've got that in their wallet. That's going up in value. They pay you a daily interest of 1% or 2%. Most of them are 1%. Some of them offer 1.5%, 2%, whatever. And they obviously say that you can reinvest it every single day and you can accumulate compound interest, so then you're gaining more money that way. This has been very popular, especially on YouTube, because it's very easy for someone like a YouTuber like myself to build up a community with people and talk about cryptocurrency, especially being so early into it, and say, oh look, there's this BitConnect thing. And I'm not going to lie, I set up an account. The first week or two, I was like, God, everyone's talking about this BitConnect and how much money I'm making. I better join it. And I actually transferred £10 worth of Bitcoin. Again, I like to take little steps and try things out. I transferred £10 worth of Bitcoin. Now that's, oddly enough, that's gone up. It's now worth £30 worth of Bitcoin. And then I realised you had to actually put in £100 worth. So I never actually meet the minimum criteria. And that's as far as I got, because they want you to convert your Bitcoin into BitConnect coins, which is their version of Bitcoins, if you like. And then they loan them out for the day, and then you get paid back. So if you own 10 BitConnect coins, they pay you 1% of whatever they've generated that day. Whereas if you own 100,000 of them, then obviously you're going to get paid 100 times more than that other person, whatever. These are all... sorry, let me just move my laptop because my leg's going dead. These are all highly profitable, like I say, especially for YouTubers, because they rely on referrals and recommendations and commission, which I've got no problem with. I'm a salesman myself, and I've done phone sales, car sales, and I live off commission most of my life, so got no problem with that at all. But I've seen things come and go. I've seen scams. I've seen people come back and say, 6 years ago you scammed me, I want my money back. So I sort of feel like I don't really want to touch this, because I feel like it's going to come back and bite people on the arse later. Not now. It's very profitable now and people are doing really well on it. And if they can cash out and get away from it, fantastic. Go ahead. Got no problems, no issues with that. I'm not calling anyone out. Make your money, get out, be safe. But it's just not for me. It's not something I want to be a part of. And I'm not just aiming this at BitConnect. There are but this is the big one. This is one you'll see advertised loads. And when you buy your Bitcoin, you may be enticed to join BitConnect. Now what happens is, I'll say to you, click this link here, and you'll come to this website. I start earning money or commission, like I don't know, 10% or something for whatever you deposit. So you say you come onto this site and you've got a bit more money than I have. That's very likely. I'm a dad of 5, so you've probably got way more money than me. You deposit £10,000. I get £1,000 of that as a commission. Now, let's say you're doing well out of it, and then you recommend your brother or your sister. They click your link. Now, you're attached to me, so now they are attached to me as well. So you get 10% of them, but then I get 5% of them as well. Then they recommend another friend. I get their money as well. So I'm getting 3 lots of people money. So this, you can see that obviously if loads of people keep using this service under your code, you'll generate a lot of money very quickly. Great, fantastic. If you've got a platform where people trust you and you say, look, just click my link and put some money into this website, fantastic. I'm trying to keep clear of that on my channel. I have got links, they are referrals, and I've been completely honest with everyone along the whole step of the way. I don't want to mislead anyone, and I've even said to people, look, I'm not going to go into this ICO loads, but if you are interested, here's a link. I get 5% of it. Just because then if anyone ever comes back and says, you earned loads of money out of, I could say, well, yeah, if you go back and watch my video, I did say, look, this is how. So I've tried to be very transparent, and I hope that comes across, and I hope you guys believe me, and I'm not trying to lie or scam anyone. If I see something that I believe is a scam, then I'll point it out, and I think that this is going to come back to bite people on the arse later down the line. Eventually I think they'll do a runner with whatever people's money they have, because when you invest in these sort of websites, they say to you, right, you're putting in $100 today, you have to keep your money in with us for at least 300 days. So you have to hope in that year they don't close down or do a run or get hacked, and all the funds get withdrawn somewhere. So there's a few things that have gone on like this. I don't mean to just batter on BitConnect, but it seems to be the most popular one and one that people understand. So you could lend your Bitcoin. What I'm trying to say is this is another revenue stream. You can lend your Bitcoin out with one of these sort of Ponzi or pyramid schemes, and you can earn money off it. You can, and you're not doing anything wrong. You're not morally, maybe you're doing something wrong, but do you know what? These guys are saying, give us your money for a bit, we'll give you more money back. You're not doing nothing wrong. So I've got no, if you want to join up to this, go for it. I used to have a link in my videos when I first started, because I joined up to them and I didn't understand fully how it worked. Now I've deleted the link. I tend to not recommend this to people, just because, like I say, I've said it a few times now, but that's my opinion. Do with it what you will. So now we've got sort of 5 different revenue streams. So when people were coming up to me and they're saying, Glenn, should I get involved in Bitcoin? I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Like, they say, well, I just want to put 100 quid in and I want to be a millionaire. That's not going to happen. Well, it could. I hope it does, because I've got about 2 grand's worth in. So, yeah, that's, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, I want to put in £100 today and I want to withdraw £1,000 next month, it's probably not going to happen. It's very likely it's not going to happen. Over a long period of time, if you was to wait for Bitcoin to rise that much, then yes, that could happen. Your £100 could become £1,000. But that's something you need to decide, is that what you want to do? Now, to cover yourself, you know, I speak to some people and they put in 200, 300, 1,000, 2,000, and they say, look, do you know what, I'm going to see what happens with this Bitcoin thing, and at least that way, if it does shoot up and they make themselves, you know, 5, 10 grand, they can say, oh look, I've made 10 grand from that Bitcoin thing 3 years ago. Do you remember that? Yeah. Oh god, yeah, it was really clever of me to do that, wasn't it? Yeah. You know, let's go out and buy a new car with it, or let's put it down. You know, so then that makes complete sense, and you have to think of it more like that. You're investing money today into a technology that could be worth potentially a lot more later. I'm talking years later. So just bear that in mind. It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be next month. It's not going to be 6 months. It's going to be more like 2 years probably before you see a real big, you know, return, like massive amount of return on your money, if that was to ever happen. And it may never happen. It may crash. It could happen that people go, do you know what, this, you know, as Bitcoin's shown, they've had trouble scaling their transactions. it's now 23, £26 to send £1 or whatever, £100. That's unacceptable, you know. So people like me may think, well, do you know what, this Bitcoin thing, fuck that. I'm quite happy with my online banking. It's transaction free. It's instant. You know, if, I use this as an example. If you've watched my other videos, me and my wife were at a supermarket. I didn't have my card on me, so she transferred money. Sorry, I transferred money to her. She had her card on her. And literally, as I pushed send, she put the card in the chip and pin and typed in her PIN number, and it went through. I mean, that is instant. That is perfect. Transaction free. It didn't cost me nothing. Yeah, you could say the banks are all lending each other money and they're earning interest off it every day, but I don't care. You know, that's their prerogative. You know, that's up to them. For me, it was instant and it was smooth and it was free. So cryptocurrency has got a long way to go before it becomes the currency that everyone has to use, because at the minute it's just not viable. But you're investing today, you're investing in a technology which potentially could be the way that we do our small transactions. You know, I may go into an Asda or a Walmart, if you like, one day, and my partner might say, Glenn, send me over 1,000 Satoshi. And I just go, yeah, sure. Thumbprint, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, it's in there, babe. Right, there you go. Yeah, it could happen like that. So that's it from me, guys. I just wanted to give you a roundup of what you could do. I think pretty much everything I've mentioned, there is either a link or for most of them anyway, Coinbase. If you join up to them, you get $10 worth of free Bitcoin when signing up if you buy £100 worth, and as a referral commission I get £10 worth, which I think only 4 or 5 people have ever done actually on my account. Hashflare, I've got a link for that. Genesis Mining, I've got a 3% off code which is down below. Again, obviously I get commissions for those. It's entirely up to you if you use them or not. But that's pretty much it. That's sort of like the main revenue streams. I'm sorry this video has gone on so long, but really this is for you. If you're sitting there at home and you're saying, Glenn, I want to get involved in cryptocurrency, but I don't know how. You're in exactly the same boat I was 5 weeks ago. And as of today, I've shown you everything that I've learned so far in a sort of condensed video. So you can go and watch a video just on Hashflare, and you can watch hundreds of hours worth. You could just watch a video on holding Bitcoin. You could, you know, I just wanted to give a brief overview of this is what you can do in your first 30 days of investing in cryptocurrency. What you choose to do is up to you. I've gave you an idea of what you could do. And that's up to you where you take that. If you need any more advice or tips or anything, please feel free to comment on my videos down below. Not only me, but there's quite a few guys on there that reply to other people's comments. I'm trying to build a community with this channel of people that help each other out. So there's people that have been with me since I had my first 10 subscribers. On this channel, I've not advertised it to friends or family and stuff like that. It's literally just pure people that are into cryptocurrency. So if you put a question down below and say, well, how do I get from Coinbase to GDAX? I don't understand. Either I will get back to you, and if I can't, someone I'm sure that watches my videos regularly will answer your question for you. And that's exactly what I wanted when I set up this channel, and I'm so thankful to the community that I have so far. I get messages every day on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram. You can find me on all of those under the name BitGlen, same as my YouTube channel. I thank you for your time. Thank you for following my journey. If there's anything that you feel that, Glenn, you're doing that wrong, you need to be doing it this way, again, comment down below. I'm not an expert. I've only been in it 6 weeks myself, and I'm telling you what I've learned so far. Doesn't mean I'm right. So I'm always looking to learn and always looking to improve. But yeah, I've had a roller coaster and I've enjoyed every single minute of it. I love doing these videos. I love learning about new ICOs, new mining. I'm always on the lookout for new investment opportunities, and you know, you may want to get in contact with me and say, Glenn, have you seen this? You know, and I have that Spective one that I invested in. Who did he miss? I think it was off. I think it was Facebook, actually, my Facebook page. A gentleman messaged me and he did say, Glenn, did you use my referral link? And I said, no, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't even think about it at the time. But let's have a little look. BitGlen. Let's wait for that to load up. And these are the sort of messages I get every day, actually. And some people really open my eyes to new things that I would have never ever thought of. Because obviously 425 subscribers, which is 425 heads, are better than one, I'm pretty sure. So I can't get to my message. I don't know. How do I view all these messages? Inbox, done. I try and reply back to every single person. Sorry if... Yeah, see, I get things like this. Look, this is from Yorko Fax. So thank you for your feedback. He sent me some really cool messages. Check out this, We Power. Other people messaging me about different opportunities and stuff like that. So I really thank you for all your support and all your feedback. I love it. I love all the questions and the... so I'm just saying, you know, I'm trying to encourage you. If you're sitting there watching this video and you think, oh, I don't really want to message him because what if someone calls me a twat? Or, yeah, it's not like that. And if there was messages like that, I would delete them off the page, because to me, I want everyone to be able to speak their mind. And some people call me out on things. The other day I got a message saying, you're really bad because you say that Bitcoin's going to go up in price and people might commit suicide if they lose loads of money. And I said, that's a valid point. But I do say in all my videos, don't invest what you're not willing to lose. So if you're willing to lose £100,000, great. That's the sort of... I wish I could lose that. Well, I couldn't. If I lost that, I'd have to go bankrupt and leave the country, you know. So I'd probably commit suicide. So only invest what you're willing to lose. Try not to stress out about it too much. Try and enjoy it, because it is a new technology. And the way I looked at it, especially with the ICOs, I didn't realise, because this has opened my eyes now to a lot of other things going on in the world. If you were to invest, say, in the new Amazon or Google, they have things called IPOs, which is initial public offering. But to actually be a part of that, you have to be an accredited investor worth £1 million, or you have to be earning £200,000 a year. Obviously, I don't meet that criteria, so I can't get involved in the new Amazon. I can't get involved in the new Google, even if I believe that someone could come up to me and go, Glenn, have you heard about this new company? They're starting next year. I'll be like, oh, okay, great. I can't get involved. I'm sure there is a way around it. But these ICOs, if I send them Bitcoin and I give them my name, email address, phone number, that's it. I'm part of the community. I'm part of the ecosystem. I'm part of that company, that startup process, and it's a really good feeling. This Envian, I'm so excited for. I can't wait to see pictures and videos of the units out on display and how they're going to stack them and how much each unit's going to generate and profit each day. I'm so excited, and I wouldn't have got that from any other investment opportunity, I feel anyway. So I want you to be a part of that as well. Not that I'm trying to lead you down Envian path. Any one of these, they all have a story. It's just up to you which one you choose. So that's it from me, guys. This has been a really long video. I do apologise, but I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to follow more updates of what I'm investing in and also what sort of mining I'm doing at that time. I've tried to be as honest and transparent as possible. I've shown everyone my wallets, my accounts, how much money I've spent. That may come back to bite me on the arse one day. Some YouTubers out there will say, oh yeah, my portfolio is made up of 5% this and I lost 10%. They're not actually saying numbers, but you know, if I do one day make, say, £10,000, I will say I made £10,000 from this 400 quid. And you guys, if you've been watching my videos, you'll know. You'll probably know before I do, and you'll probably message me going, Glenn, look at the price of Envian. So yeah, if you want to follow that journey with me, click the subscribe button, like this video if it's helped you in any way at all. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter and Telegram, all BitGlen, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you so much for being a part of this channel. Thank you. Bye.